Good morning, everyone. Well, here I am again with more cookbook journal preparation. I mentioned before in a couple of videos, I think that I had more things in the big drawer in my other room in the office. And were you curious about what was in there? Well, I'm going to show you because I pulled it all out. There was a little bit more than I thought there was. But a lot of it is going to have to be saved for the larger domestic arts type of journals because they're big items, but not all of it. So I found another apron pattern, which is really cool. Buttons and bows. I had started cutting up the patterns that I have. I cut out one of the ladies. I'm not sure. She must be in a drawer, but I have the little aprons. Oh, here she is. She's right there. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with these yet, but I just started cutting them. So I'll add this to the pile. There were just pages of cookbooks that I've already cut up. So I've got quite a few pages of those. I'm gonna have to thin them out. I will probably do a cookbook destash, like bundles that you can use in cookbook journals at some point. I don't know when, because I want to make sure I don't, because I have lots of cookbook covers to use, so I don't want to get rid of too much, but I really have more than I need. So I've got these really neat cookbook pages that are old. I have this, remember those large photo cards that I bought a couple years ago? I saved this one to go in a cookbook, but it's a big one, so that'll go in a large journal. I have these pieces of wallpaper border. Sorry. So maybe I'll use some of that in one of these journals, or both of them. Some more cookbook pages. I wonder if these came from that, I think it was Lamplighter cookbook. It looks like it's from that era, but I don't think so. This was something different, but I love the little pictures. They look like they're from the 1930s. But it's recipes. What is this? Boss oven recipes. Oh, these are the ovens. Oh, didn't I just see the picture? And recipes to use. Now look at her. Her style looks like it's from the 1900s, 1910s. But I don't see a date. These came out of a binder, recipe binder. Children's cooking book pages. So this pile is pages from various books. This was one of those fundraiser type of books, and it was put together by kids, and they did drawings in the book. So I think it was a school group. Then I've got a bunch of the cooking booklets. A lot of them were either sponsored by a product or a like a ingredient or a appliance or something. So this is Sunbeam Mixmaster Cakes and Torts. I've got a bunch. This is Good Housekeeping's pie book, canning. So I'm thinking I might use pages out of one of those little books to put on my end papers of the journal I'm making that has plain end papers. So yeah, this pile is just cookbook pages and the small cookbooks. This pile is, I think it's all large recipe cards, and I think they were from some sort of, this says National Food Management Service, and I had a whole bunch of recipes from them, and some I think were like for a home ec class or something, and some are from companies, commercial cards. This one isn't as old, but this one is. I don't know the dates on these, but you can tell they're older. So I've got lots of big recipe cards. Love that one, bright orange color. This is Convenience Food Forms of the 70s, and it's another food service. It's a textured card, and I think they probably came in that envelope, and there's another envelope. So I've picked, well, they don't belong in there at all. Those are tabs for an address book. So at various times I procured some of these large, really fun index recipe cards. In this pile I have some more recipe index cards and handwritten recipes. So I'll have to sort through those and put them with my other ones, and some printed recipe cards. I think these might have been digitals. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But they're the right style for the books I'm making now, so I'll leave some of those out. And then here's my stack of the subscription recipe card collection things. I told you these were probably in that drawer, and there they are. I had a couple kinds, Betty Crocker, and there's another one, but I've got a whole bunch of those. And then I have some more little booklets. I had a bunch in the first batch I pulled out, and some pages from booklets. I'll leave those out. And these are recipe books that you were supposed to write in your favorite recipes. So I kept some of the pages. I know I had put some of them in some kits that I sold, but I kept some, and more index from a binder. I like the blank pages, so I'm going to have to fit some of those into the books I'm using, and just some more loose pages from cookbooks. I want to make a little journal and putting this on the front. It's so cute. So this is going to become a journal at some point. Okay, so that is what was in that drawer. Some of it will go back in, like these giant cards. I won't use them in these recipe books, I don't think. Let me set them aside. And I think we're going to work on putting the covers, like we're not actually putting them together, because they are together. I don't have to build a spine, but we have to reinforce the spine and do what needs to be done to get these covers ready. And then I'm thinking I am just going to make a bunch of ephemera with all of this stuff and have it all ready for whenever I want to make cookbook journals. So it's not like I'm in a great big hurry to get these journals put together. So I think I will work on ephemera. And do you want to keep watching me make ephemera for these cookbooks? And then I will be able to put it aside. I'll use some of it in these journals and then have some ready for the next journals. Here's what I have done with this book. It has a 2-inch spine, which I'm keeping. It is showing, it's looking thin here. It's not torn at all, but it's looking a little thin. So I really want to make sure that is taken care of and reinforced. And plus, there's no stability here. So I cut a piece of chipboard, and I can slide it right underneath, slide the ends underneath this to finish off the edge, so there won't be chipboard showing here. So let's just go ahead, and I did have to kind of bend it to fit it in there, but it still seems very sturdy, and it didn't affect the integrity of the spine. I just have to arch it a bit to get the other end in. just put a little touch of glue in there to glue that part down. Now I'm not going to add end papers to this because I like those end papers, but that putting the chipboard in there did not help with the thin part there, so I have a piece of Tyvek to put there, so that's going to reinforce where the fold is. If you're not familiar with Tyvek, it is a plasticky paper that does not tear. You can cut it easily, but you cannot tear it. Post office uses it in some of their priority mail envelopes, but you cannot take them from the post office just to cut them up. You can cut up the ones that you've received with mail in them, but it is against the law to take post office property and use it for other purposes, just so you know. I don't think anybody's going to come knocking on your door looking, but it's a good thing to know. So anyway, you can purchase Tyvek, T-Y-V-E-K. You can purchase it in envelope form, like the big envelopes, which is what I have. But now I have found that you can also get sheets of it. But I had a whole bunch of envelopes I got on clearance when Walmart stopped carrying them. So I haven't needed to purchase any, but I will. Next time I get them, I'll get them in sheet form. Now, of course, I want to cover the Tyvek. So I'm just going to, I like this gingham, vintage gingham piece, and I'm just going to use this. I don't want to cover up much of that end paper, so I'll just cut it just wide enough to cover the Tyvek. There's a hem here. I'm going to see what it looks like having just a touch of the fabric hanging over the edge here, because I don't want the Tyvek to be visible either at the edge, but I think I'm going to cut it down. Just make sure that this is glued down so that you can't see the Tyvek. The other book, I'm going to cover the end papers, so you might want to keep watching to see slightly different process for getting that book ready. Plus we're going to make some ephemera, I think, maybe, if we have time. If not, that'll be a separate video. Now there was something on the back cover, something that was, you know, like wasn't just a stain, it was a physical thing, something that dried up on there, and I scraped it off with a knife. I had said that it would be covered with fabric because I usually have fabric here, but I forgot that I was keeping that spine. So you can see where I scraped it off there. I'm not sure, I might put some fabric patches on parts of the book, but for now I'm going to call it ready. the only thing left is, you know, just whatever decorative things I want to do. I do have those library pockets that came with the June's Kitchen kit. So I would have to cover up part of that pie to put a pocket on there maybe. So I'll probably do that. Might as well do it now. I already have this one inked and glued together. They're decorated on the back too, so you could just paper clip them in, make them a floating pocket, or tuck them in another pocket so that you can still see the back. This one you could actually write on, it's light colored. Okay. I really like the way that gingham looks in there. Now this book has some special issues. It's got a slit right there, and that probably happened when I was trying to cut the book block out. These papers on the end, it's paper and not fabric, and it's glued down, so I can't slip this under. So to make sure that the chipboard isn't going to be visible, I'm going to wrap some fabric around it. I just have to decide. First I'll choose my end papers, and then I will choose a fabric that will look okay with it. That's cute. This one wouldn't be quite tall enough. I like this one. This one could go on the back because I would have to put some fabric over part of it if I put it here, but if I put it over here, then it would be on the outside edge. I don't think I want to use these full color pages. At first I thought I did, but because I want to cover them with, you know, put a library card on their library pocket, I think I'm just going to go with pages like these that I wouldn't mind covering parts of. So this one's a possibility. Oh, I like that. Maybe I'll just use these 2 pages. I'll just mark it to where I need to cut it. That's cute. So I do think that red gingham will be cute here. So I have a couple ways I could do this. I could completely wrap this and glue it down, but then these raw edges, kind of where I tore the fly leaf and the book block out, they would be there. So I think I will just make the fabric a little wider than the chipboard and wrap the ends, but leave this part loose, and it can go like that maybe. I'm figuring it out as I go. Sorry. Now I'll just fold this end over. Now, if I put that in first, then I can glue the end paper over the raw edge of the fabric. I think I'll do that. This fabric wants to curl where I tore it. I'm going to put a little glue on the cover itself so I can get this curly fabric to lay down on it. Maybe it really wants to curl. Okay, so now we have a nice clean edge there. You know what I didn't do? I didn't put the Tyvek on it. We have to have that because of the tear, and I just tore it again pulling that off. Have to have the Tyvek on there. The fabric might be good enough because of the cracks in the and slits in the fold of the cover, but I feel more secure using Tyvek. Now we have to do that all over again. Now all we have to do is add our end papers. This is Fabri-Tac glue in this bottle. I just realized I didn't eat breakfast. I realized that because I'm hungry. And it's, what time is it? 11:14. I had to take my car across town to get the oil changed, and I had gotten a letter that it might needed to be checked out in case it needed some repair. It was like a recall thing. Primarily for stop and go traffic. It said it was for like it used too much oil, especially in stop and go traffic, which is pretty much all I do. I just drive here around town. Don't go on the highway that often. So anyway, I was going to drop it off last night so it would be there for today. And I completely forgot. So, till 10:30 last night. My son came. I went to the dealership before it opened and dropped it off, and my son came and picked me up and brought me back home. So anyway, I got up and did something I don't normally do first thing in the morning. And then my son stayed to chat with me till he had to go to work. So, and then my friend called me right after he left, so I just haven't eaten breakfast. It's almost lunchtime now. There is some wear and tear on the edges of this book, so I might wrap that in fabric. But let's look for I think I like that Jello Supreme pocket because I like the reds. I can put that over on this side so it doesn't cover up so much of the printing. But of course I will ink it and glue it together before I glue it down, so I won't bother with that right now. That'll go there. I wonder about using some of these ladies on the inside. Yeah, I think I'll do that. That's pretty cute, isn't it? And a book plate of some sort. So I won't glue them down till I have the book plate. She'll go with this book. She'll go with this book. Okay, I'm going to move the fabric out of my way. I brought in a selection of ginghams and dots and stuff. I didn't want anything too fancy on the inside spine because it just gets covered up with the pages. But it does show, so it has to be something cool. And I like the ginghams for the cookbook theme. So I can get all of these things out of my way. And we got just a few minutes. I worked on something that I was going to do some more of if I had time on camera. I did find that piece with the tab that I kept telling you I had. Got cut out of one of these. So, yeah, there's proof. I knew what I was talking about. I had it here somewhere. Okay, I'm looking for the journal card that I just decorated, so I can do some more of them. I actually used one of those children's book definition thingies to decorate it with, and I don't know what I did. Oh, it's right here, right in front of me. This. So this was a definition of an apron, and I put it on some pink cardstock and then onto this apron cardstock, which is part of the Authentique Saucy collection. I want to put something on the back so it can be journaled on. Maybe I could just cut a recipe card down a little bit. The corners of the card are rounded, this card, so I'm going to round this one. And I inked it. Oh, I need to show you, remember if you saw the, I think it was the first video showing ephemera I was working on for these journals, and it was, I put the pink polka dot little tabs on it so it could flip over. I actually glued it down on one of the pages, so I want to show you what it looks like. I cut out all these little ladies from that one advertisement that I showed you. I could add her to that. That's cute. Maybe I need something with a little more contrasting color, though. Put her over here because her foot's cut off. It was behind something. And I'm going to add a tab to this card. Let's see what I have in my pre-cut tabs. It would be fun to use bread tabs, wouldn't it? Since it's a cooking journal. I think I'll do that. And because it's plastic, I'm going to use my Glossy Accents glue. The Fabri-Tac might work with it, but when I use plastic or metal, I usually use the Glossy Accents. Glossy Accents doesn't dry immediately. We get used to that, having quick drying glues. So I'm going to set that aside so it can dry. Okay, let's see if we can find that page I was talking about. I don't remember which signature I put it in. Must be it wasn't that one. It's that one. So here's the page. This is the part you saw right there, and it had these tabs. So I glued the tabs to the page and then covered it with the same scrapbook paper, and I used the same polka dot paper to back these little kitchen tips. So you can flip it over and write on this side. I could have made this part a pocket, but I didn't. I might do that on the next one. I could show you the tags that I finished, because we did some of them, did 2 or 3 on camera, and I had 6 to make. There's one. I know I did that one on camera because it's the one that had the embossing on it. And I used 3 different border punches. I love that circle one. That's the one I just got at the yard sale. And I used a border punch to punch that pocket. There's another one with that border. And I found the one, I told you I had a tag left over that I made with these ladies from whatever the last time I made journals was. And I found that one. I did kind of the same thing. I couldn't remember what I did, but these are made with, these are pre-made shipping tags, and this is scrapbook paper, 6x6 scrapbook paper that I cut into 3-inch widths, and then so it's got a recipe behind it just like this one. It just doesn't have the border or the milk tab. So I got fancier this time. Okay, got a few minutes left, I think. Not very many, but I have 2 more of those definitions from the children's book. I have breakfast and oven. Looking at my paper scraps. The things I cut off to make these pages. This would make a fun journal card just because it's got like a white subway tile behind it. That would make a, so you could write on that. That would make a good journal card. How about that piece for breakfast? And this piece for oven. So obviously, because of those busy prints, I have to add something behind the definition. So I'll look for something that will go with the paper. I think I'll just use this brown to help it stand out from that. I just put a small border around it. And then just add it to this card. It can be the same. I love using the cut off paper pieces to make some of my ephemera. So it's a very, very simple tag. If I find a picture, a little picture that would have a breakfast element, I could add that to this because it doesn't have a picture on the definition like the other ones do. Let me see if one of these little ladies is making breakfast. Let's see, we've got a pie. She's reaching up into the cupboard for something. She's using her mixer, rolling out dough, taking a casserole from the oven, peeling potatoes, checking the oven. She's giving the child a cookie. That's not breakfast. Cutting a turkey, pouring coffee. Let's do that. She's slicing bread. I could put one on the front and one on the back. Because maybe that's bread for toast or French toast. Pretty sure I have more bread tabs in here. I try to save them, but sometimes when I'm cleaning up in the kitchen and I find one, I just throw it away. There's one. There's another one. Ah, got a bunch of them there. I think I like her better up there. The tab will also be up there. Let's put her down here. Let's use the copy lady instead. Might as well cut another one while we're at it. If my camera shuts off, I'll just say right now, thank you for watching, and I hope you come back for the next video, which will probably be more ephemera made with cookbook journal stuff. Because sometimes once my camera gets to a certain point, which is beyond where we're beyond that point now, it just shuts off. Oh. Wasn't paying attention. It's 2 times in one video I have to pull something off. Glad I flipped it over before the glue dried. Thought it might still be open since I just opened it. There we go. Okay, I've got 2 of those done, and I have the oven one to do. But I'm going to turn the camera off and do a little more work. And I'll see you in the next video. I hope you have a creative day today, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.